Hey, what's going on, people? It's Alex here with the Flunky Entrepreneur Field Guide. And today's video is going to be about a welcoming video, welcoming me and myself and the show to welcome me and myself to the YouTube community. This is something that's been, a little whiles in the coming. I've been making a lot of YouTube video. I'm sorry. I've been making a lot of uh oh geez, I'm going blank here. Sorry, I just had a little somebody mistook me for someone. Anyway, sorry, get back on track. So I've been making a lot of Facebook live videos, and I even tried the Periscope. Didn't really last too long on that one. But the Facebook videos have been, coming along, and I just wanted to start this whole series off, this whole eFlunky show with a welcome video, welcoming myself and you guys to the channel, and kind of giving you guys a heads up as to what to expect, I guess. And eFlunky in itself, it's broken up into two parts. We have the field guide, and then we also have the field report. The field guide is going to be like informational access and different books and different techniques and skills to learn as an entrepreneur, because again, eFlunky, the whole point of the eFlunky show is to help with personal growth, to help with the mentoring process and what to expect as far as getting into or starting a small business or maintaining a small business, or even just finding that that little bit of potential within yourself to kind of get out of the rut of working for an hourly wage and being unhappy and not being completely fulfilled is really what I want to get down to, is really helping not only myself through the process, but also you guys, and helping you figure out what is it that is really going to fulfill you. What is something that you can choose, that you already have been doing, but you just been suppressing it, or you've already done and you just suppressed it, to try to make ends meet and try to do what you can to survive. So the field guide is really the true survival methods and techniques that you need to really get out of that extreme survival situation, where I believe causes a lot of mental health issues, so to kind of shift your train of thought into a more positive way of thinking, and to really try to find that that success within yourself intuitively, things that will naturally make you feel better about yourself, and in turn, believe it or not, it will help you physically. It will help you, the way you shift your mindset will help you physically. It will make you feel better. Trust me, it's happened to me. I've suffered from depression and stress and anxiety and all these things that really have really stifled my growth as an individual, and I'm still on that process. I'm still learning, and it's still a work in the making for me. And this show, the eFlunky show, is all part of that process of finding my own way of making making that happiness for myself, and being more transparent about it, being more just kind of out there, being more accessible. And that's that's one of the biggest things that really has helped me in this battle with mental health and all that stuff, is trying to overcome my own little I guess my own little roadblocks that I set up for myself. And a lot of them stem from bad habits that I've developed over time that I need to overcome, and I'm still trying to overcome. And these are things that are really hard to consider when you're constantly avoiding reality, which is not about work. It's not about going to spend 60, 70, 80 hours or even 100 hours at work you know, just to be able to get that house or that car, or to have that watch, or to wear that wardrobe, or for you ladies to have the purses and the shoes, and you know, to getting your you know, all your you know, to get them beautified and all that stuff, right? So it's not about that. It's not about, you know, just being able to maintain. What it is truly about, and this is the one thing that I will stand by, is that you need to reflect upon your life as if you were already old and ready to retire. You know, what would you be doing if you were in the position to be able to retire today? What if you had all the money? What if you operated on a daily basis as if you had all you needed to be able to be as successful as you want to be, right? And the one thing that really stops you from doing this is, you know, having that mental block, you know, having that limited mindset, you know, and really telling yourself on a daily basis that you need to, you know, as you hear in the inspirational community, tuck it under the pillow, right? You don't need to tuck it under the pillow every day you wake up. You know, you don't need to, you know, lay your dreams in bed when you make your bed in the morning. You know, you don't need to lay them down and have them wait for you for until you get home. You know, it's something that you have to walk with on a daily basis, and it could be a struggle. I'll be honest with you, it has been quite a struggle for me, financially. It's been a struggle on my relationship. You know, it's been a strain on other aspects of my life that have, you know, that haven't really blossomed very well because of the negative aspect of wanting to grow but being frustrated with the rate of growth. You know, everything that's good will come in time. And I know that sounds so cliche, but the reality is it's not worth it if it's just going to, you know, if you could just snap your fingers and then it you have everything you want, right? You know, the only way that you can really, you know, really appreciate that type of mindset is if you snap out of it, snap out of the rut that you've been, you know, kind of force feeding yourself for years. You know, these bad habits of constantly stifling, you know, your potential, and get back on the horse, you know, get back and retrain your thinking into learning more, you know, retrain your thinking into being more open, when it comes down to you know, other individuals and networking and all those people that you feel like are negative, negative impacts on you and in your life. You need to reevaluate those people. You need to reevaluate those routines. You need to reevaluate those habits, you know, that you feel like are taking a lot of energy from you. Because I heard this one thing just recently about, you know, picturing yourself as a limited amount of energy. Like, say for instance, you have a limited amount of cash to buy lunch per se, right? And you know that you can't go out and you spend $100 on your lunch. Most of us can't, right? So, you know, on a daily basis, you think about that. You have a certain amount of energy to spend on that lunch, right? And if you have a limited amount of money to spend on that lunch, you need to make sure that you're spending it on the most nutritious food that you can possibly intake, right? Because that energy needs to be invested. That money that you're investing in yourself, because that's what it is when you're buying yourself food, it needs to be reinvested in yourself properly. It needs to be reinvested in a way that's going to give you the proper nutrition. It's going to give you, you know, the proper amount of energy, and it's going to help sustain you throughout the day, right? You're not going to waste your money, you know, on junk food and just trash your body and then expect your body to perform and have the cognition to be able to tell the difference between positive and negative, right? Because if you're in a physical state where where you're not attracting the positive, and you're feeling sick, you're feeling bloated, you're feeling, you know, nauseous, you have a headache, or, you know, you're feeling like, whatever it is, those are all negative states, and we get so used to those states that we don't realize that the investments that we have made upon ourselves are taxing our lives, right? So it's very much like that with just in general your thoughts. And when you're constantly thinking in that negative state and you're in that, you know, toxic environment, it's not very conducive to a positive lifestyle. So, you know, you're investing in all the wrong things. You know, your time is limited here on earth in general, you know, in the universe, in the ether, whatever you want to, your energy is limited. You want to make sure that you're investing in the proper, you're investing your time wisely. You're investing in the proper, states of mind. You're investing in the proper states of being. You're investing in the right people in terms of, you reflecting the positivity that you want reciprocated, right? So it's like that. And the laws of karma, which, somebody would ask, what's the laws of karma? Well, that's for future videos. But, the laws of karma are essentially, what the most basic one is what you put into the ether is what gets reciprocated, right? And that's also like, the very fundamentals of those people who believe in The Secret, right? You put in the positive, you put out the positive, and you get what you receive. And same thing happens for what you put in your body, for what you put in your mind, for what you put through your ears, what you put through your nose, what you put through, and it's all relative, right? And I truly believe in something called the butterfly effect. All those little things will add up. I just heard this commercial advertisement for the show that's about to start. I think it's called a Million Little Things, I believe it's called. And that's very much, what I feel like I'm going through now is experiencing a million little things that all add up. It's not one big thing. And I guess the slogan for the commercial was actually, friendship or friends are not one big thing, right? Friendship is a million little things. And that's what life is about. You have lunch today, and I use lunch as an analogy because it's across across the platform, across all lives, is lunch seems to be the main meal of the day, right? For most, it's the first meal of the day, and for most, it's the only meal of the day, and believe it or not, it's the most universal meal to be shared. So with that being said, you have to understand that the analogy goes to show that what you do during the most important times in your life will eventually spill into, how you feel about your life in general, right? So if you're going, you think that you don't have time to, to prep a meal, or you don't have time to eat a healthy meal or wait for a healthy meal or whatever. So you have to go to these fast food restaurants and constantly, fill yourself up with this negative energy, right? Then it's going to tax your body, and your body is going to do what it does best, and it's going to try to adapt. And what happens when you adapt to toxicity? You get sick, you get diseased, you get, all kinds of other things that will eventually spill into your mental state as well. So good health starts with a good mind, right? And a good mind starts with establishing habits. And sometimes it's uncomfortable to establish new habits. Actually, most of the time. Actually, you know what? Let me retract that and say all the time. It's hard to establish new habits, because it's a consistent thing. It's one of those things that you constantly have to remind yourself. And you have to have the willpower to be able to do so, right? But it all starts with one thing. That's all you have to do. If it's having your coffee in the morning, right? And you have to do without, I don't know, cream or sugar. Start with one or the other. Don't do it. Or maybe better yet, start with a half a serving of the coffee that you normally would have with the regular, portion size of the cream or sugar that you use. It's just one small thing. It's so simple, right? Or perhaps it's, getting up in the morning and turning on your phone, right? And looking at all the, just stop that one thing, right? So there's so many different things, small things that you can do that will really change your habits, and really those things will come a long way. I remember reading this book. It was called Making Your Bed, or Make Your Bed, or something like that. And it's such a simple concept, but you'll be amazed how many people have to rush out of bed in the morning because they hit the snooze button, and they don't make their bed. And what do? They come home to that same mess, right? And it happens. And I'm not criticizing, and I'm not, really ridiculing anybody who has to, be in that state. But when you're chronically in that state, it is detrimental to your mental health. It really is. It's detrimental to your physical health. We don't realize it, but to be disorganized in those small things, when I say disorganized, when we don't have a routine, for the primary things in our lives, we tend to choose the secondary things. And when those secondary things start to, lapse, and we don't keep up with those things, then the tertiary things, are what takes its place. So eventually we get down the line where we have just things that are not of value. We have things in our lives that we're not spending quality time on because we're missing all the fundamentals, right? So that's what this is all about. That's what eFlunky is all about. And I'm Alex, and I'm going to be your host from now on. Hopefully there's going to be other people that you might meet along the way, but ultimately it's all about creating those good habits and being consistent with those small things first. And that's where we're going to start. So the field report is really about learning different techniques and finding those little niches that you can kind of capitalize on and reframe your mind to be in a more positive state by simply ruling out all those small negative factors and all the small negative things, one by one. Now, I don't know what those things are for you. You're going to have to discover yourself, but what I'm going to do is going to give you examples, analogies, and metaphors, for you to be able to at least adapt to and be like, you know what? Oh, that kind of makes sense. I think I'm going to not do that. And hopefully, my lifestyle is as common as they come. I have bad habits. I still drink alcohol. I still consume some sugar snacks. I still consume, every once in a while, not often, but maybe like a piece of candy, or once in a while I might go out and have fast food. And it's hard. And eventually you meet the rest of the family, and you'll see why it's so difficult to stay on track and keep up with those good habits, and exactly why I know where you're coming from, as in terms of being limited, as far as in that mind state, because it does get stressful. It gets stressful, not only when you're doing it for yourself, but when you have to do it as an example for others. It does help, but it also creates a different level of stress, because a lot of us can do what is very common as well, and that's binge eat. We might sit here and I might be in front of the camera and tell you, oh yes, I'm being all healthy and doing all this and that, but then I might go this morning and binge eat something that I'm going to eventually feel guilty for later, but I won't mention it, right? So these are the things, these are the problems that and that's all about the transparency. And that's why I love the live videos, because you never know what's going to happen, right? So again, that's what eFlunky is about. And it's not just strictly about, entrepreneurial advice and, from different perspectives, because when it comes down to that, I also have, multiple different perspectives that you can learn from. As far as being a creative entrepreneur, which, that's kind of redundant because entrepreneurs are creative. But, as far as being establishing businesses and failing, or having some success in those businesses, and also having friends that I can, show as examples, or give you examples of, or even people that are close to me, or acquaintances, whatever they are, I will be able to hopefully reach you from different perspectives and different walks of life. And trust me, I've been there and I've done that, and I've experienced a lot. The one thing that I can't say that I've experienced the most is traveling the world, but that's on the agenda, and that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. So you can see me from taking my first baby steps into really reaching out into the world, and trying to develop these new habits of positivity. And I definitely want to share that with you guys. So again, the field guide and the field report. And the field report, just to keep it short, is just nothing more than just telling you guys about the daily process, or the daily little things that are happening, as far as what I'm trying to accomplish, and what I'm having difficulty with, or what came easy, and what to expect as far as me going through it itself. Because again, I'm reporting as to what it is that I'm doing and getting into. And trust me, I know you're going to learn a lot from that. So, I guess to keep the video under 20 minutes, because it's already going there and I can keep talking forever. But anyway, I'm Alex with eFlunky, your entrepreneur's field guide, and you guys have a wonderful day. All right? Take care. Now, how do you end this? This is my first time making this video. I don't even know how to end the video. Do I exit? I don't know what's going on. Perhaps I do this and share. No. All right, here we go. See, what did I say about the live videos? This is the best thing about it. I'm gonna hit the X. I'm pretty sure. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?